I spent 2 years with the pan art here, and I almost sold it because I was just like in the same exact situation where I was just getting nowhere, and my girlfriend had bought me a djembe, and I was kind of like, I was in the same position playing the djembe and playing the handpan and just feeling like I'm in the same thing. I would just do this every time. If I can remember it now, but something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
We've been hearing a lot of this. Yeah. We used to.
But the key thing is 100% is just play with other people. Because you might even think that you get to a place where you actually establish a lot of like repertoire with your style and your playing, but then you sit down with somebody else and you're like, whoa, this person knows a lot more than me, and then suddenly you can just absorb what's happening. That's 100% what the transition is going to be for you, is just like finding other people to play with who are more established. And it doesn't always necessarily need to be more handpan players. Like what got me to the next level in the handpan was actually just playing the djembe and just getting like comfortable, just being like, just getting like a really strong like comfort in this kind of motion. Because before, when I first picked up the handpan, being my first percussion instrument, it was just playing it like a piano and just having kind of like an awkwardness to my motion, because it didn't really feel like something I wasn't established in, as opposed to Mateo, who's a percussion player. So the key thing that I highly recommend is finding other people to play with. My girlfriend is a vocalist and guitar player, so I just started to learn like different djembe rhythms and applying it to the guitar song she was playing. So I would listen to the guitar, listen to the vocals being shared with the guitar, and then I would match that with the djembe. And what's nice is that I gather with a lot of people in like big circles to play music pretty frequently. And what's nice when that happens is that my drum at that point in time was quiet enough that I could make tons and tons of mistakes and no one would notice. And so then it kind of gave me like a space to just experiment with what was going to happen. So I recommend like going to drum circles. That's a really simple thing to find out, and just spending time with people that are kind of already at a level that you would like to get to, and just ask questions. Like that's one of the main things that opens doors. People, as you just asked this question to us, I encourage you to ask questions to people, but do it in person, and just sit down and just drill people. And like, how did you figure that out? How did you figure this out? What are some basic exercises, fundamental exercises that I can learn to master that? And maybe you have some things to share about it too, because you are a percussion teacher and I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for this question, because it is pretty essential. And I remember there was a very large discussion in the internet in, I don't know, a year from now, or some guy posted like a post that on a RAV drum thread on Facebook that basically, I mean, he is disappointed. I mean, he's a piano player, I guess. I mean, or he had some kind of a musical training, and he basically wrote that he is disappointed about the possibilities of the drum. I mean, and this is really important. Yes, this instrument has that amount of notes. You have two hands, and this is the bottom line when it comes to melodic possibilities. You cannot play anything or everything, on this drum. That's true. But as Jerry said, like the way to go deeper is to study more the percussion and the drumming and the rhythms. This is how you go actually really deeper. And this direction of diving into playing is infinite. And look, I mean, I will just play you something, and I will use two notes. This drum has 8 of it. I will just use 2. For example, just start from something super simple, right? Oh, you just have to choose 2. Okay, these 2 notes, right? So like this was just a sample of like the range of expression. So this is a direction to go into. Like the amount of notes doesn't really matter. You can just do so much with 2 notes or 1 note or 3 notes. So, and that's why this question is important, because it basically, this is a question about a direction of progress in this instrument. And the direction is like not into like the multiplicity of, you know, the notes. The direction is go basically inside. And also like, you know, you can explore everything what Jerry said about like the meditative aspect of this instrument and the playing for other people. Like you don't really need much. I mean, this is there's so much you can do with this instrument, and musically, rhythmically. You can basically play all kinds of rhythms. Apply African. If you play djembe, you can apply African patterns to this drum. It's going to sound great. It's going to sound completely different than djembe. You can apply all the samba, Brazilian patterns, the bossa nova. You can just Middle Eastern frame drums if you have this a technique, you know, just Indian tabla. I mean, it's going to work awesome, you know. And I very often, like, I play a drum and bass. The direction is definitely, I think, to go inside yourself and to go to practice with other people. Mm-hmm. This opening a completely different new field of exploration, and practice your rhythmic skills. And if you decide to buy 2 of these drums, then like all this possibilities Jerry mentioned and I basically multiply by 2. So with the 2 of these, basically lifetime is not enough, you know, to explore.
Yeah, and also like just getting really creative. Like for instance, as I was doing in the very beginning, I was like, I'll add beatboxing, I'll add throat singing, I'll add normal singing, rapping, like, you know, just getting really creative with whatever kind of expression. Play the didge and the handpan at the same time, play the kas-kas and the handpan. These are all things that like came to me as I had just one scale, and I was like, okay, what is as creative as I possibly can be with it. There was one point where I was like, oh, I'm gonna beatbox into the didge because it's like or into the handpan, because it's a big resonating chamber, and I was like, just ways to get creative and not be limiting yourself to like, oh, there's only one thing to do here and it's linear and it has to be done the way that everyone else has done it before. Just what's something I can do that's totally different, that just opens my mind to like the possibility of like, oh, this can be done in a totally different way.
This video is an excerpt from our handpan Q&A live. It was an hour and 40-minute long video we did where we were taking questions from the audience live on YouTube. So I definitely suggest you check out that video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel here at Didge Project. Give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.